And these are called as parking orbit, students. Okay. So all these vehicles are being parked in a particular manner. One cannot park his vehicle into some other parking lot. Exactly like that. Students, every nation has to launch their satellites, okay, in a particular place, in a particular parking orbit. You can't park anywhere. You can't park it anywhere. So every nation, students, every nation have their satellites revolving around them. Of course, the reason is why we need to know about each and everything happening in India, about the weather forecast, about the climatic conditions we consider, or for spying purpose we consider, or for different activities in the celestial bodies. So we need to know about it all the time. So there is a satellite all the time facing towards the Earth. Now, when the Earth is performing rotational motion, when the Earth is performing rotational motion, can you tell me the satellite is also performing what kind of motion? Uniform circular motion. So now, if I say that this is what the Earth is, okay, and the Earth is performing rotational motion, students. Okay, it's performing rotational motion about its own axis. Okay, with a certain omega. What does omega over here stand for, students?
Angular velocity.
Angular velocity, and the angular velocity of the Earth remains constant. Can anybody tell me what is the angular velocity of the Earth? तो तुम क्या बोलोगे? तुम बोलोगे सर एंगुलर वेलोसिटी ऑफ द अर्थ यानी ये नॉर्थ होगा और ये साउथ है. एग्रीड. ये हुआ वेस्ट और ये हुआ ईस्ट. तो ये हुआ इक्वेटर और ये हुआ पोल्स. Angular velocity of the earth is given by the formula since it's performing rotational motion and it performs pure rotational motion. Omega can be written as 2 pi by t. Since omega can be written as either d theta by dt, yeah, 2 pi by t. D theta by dt is used for what kind of motion? Non-uniform. And 2 pi by t is written for what? Uniform motion. Neha, clear?
Yes, sir.
यानी इसका मोशन पीरियोडिक है. अगर मैं 2 पाई बाई टी लेता हूं तो इसका आंसर कितना होगा? 2 पाई 6.28. Agreed. Can you tell me what is the time taken by the Earth to complete one rotation about its own axis? Anyone? You can you tell me how much time it is taking to complete its rotation about its own axis? How many days? You? She's not there.
Yes, sir.
How many days does the Earth takes to rotate about its own axis fast? You answer. Are you there or not?
Yes, sir. Sir,
बोलो.
one day.
Huh?
I don't know properly, sir. One day. It takes 1 day.
1 week or 1
No,
day?
sir. 1 day, I said.
Okay, to rotate about its own axis.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure or you have a question mark?
No, sir. I'm sure.
Okay. That is 24 hours. Students, 24 hours is 86,400 seconds. This is in radian. Therefore, students, your answer is 7.26 into 10 raised to minus 5 radian second inverse. So this is the omega of Earth. Yani if somebody asks you, what is the angular velocity of the Earth? The Earth rotates about its own axis with a constant angular speed, students. But when you look at the value, is this value very large or very small, students?
Small.
Small. That is why it is unnoticeable. Students, right now, you are attending lectures, you are sitting on a chair or maybe in your cot or maybe into your bed with all sorts of what do you call heaters along with you because it's too chilled. Are you getting it? To put your hands into water also in order to brush your teeth also. You might be feel some people must be sitting just without brushing their teeth also. And it's so cold in that case. So what exactly we consider? The angular velocity of the Earth remains constant. It's 7.26 into 10 to the power of -5. This -5, it's a very small value. That means at present you are sitting on a chair. Are you getting it? Do you feel that you are rotating?
No.
No,
No, not
sir.
don't feel it. क्योंकि ये तुम्हारा angular velocity which is very small. वह फील ही नहीं हो रहा है. लेकिन यानी ये सोचो कि एक मेरी गो राउंड है और तुम मेरी गो राउंड के ऊपर हो और वो मेरी गो राउंड एकदम स्लोली लुक एट माय फिंगर्स आर मूविंग. My fingers are moving, but you can't feel it as if they are moving. You'll feel it's stationary, but it's moving. Still, it's moving. But now, suppose if I make my fingers to move very fast, as if I make a merry-go-round move very fast, and if you're standing on the merry-go-round, what is going to happen if the velocity of the merry-go-round will be fast? You will be thrown away from it. You'll be thrown away from the merry-go-round. That means you will be in a non-inertial frame of reference and you will be experiencing a force centrifugal. Exactly same thing happens on the Earth. All the places on the Earth's surface are performing circular motion. लेकिन अगर by chance Earth का angular velocity 17 times present value अगर होता है, that means if I take 7.26 multiply by just 1770. So what? This is 10 raised to -5. If I just multiply by 17 times the present value, what is going to happen? The objects will start flying away from the Earth. उसका effect सबसे severe कहाँ पे दिखाई देगा? The severity of the effect will be on the equator. Why? Why? Because the places which are on the equator will be away from the axis of rotation. So they will be having less gravitational force. Because gravitational force is the force of attraction between the object and the center. तो जो भी places center से दूर की तरफ होंगे उनके ऊपर effect ज्यादा होगा. Are you getting this? What am I trying to put forward to you all?
सर इक्वेटर वाला पार्ट बताओ ना फिर से.
I'm saying it that if Earth starts rotating with a higher angular velocity, then which places on the Earth's surface will fly off? As if you're standing on a merry-go-round. Forget about merry-go-round. तुम क्या करो मालूम है? तुम्हारा सीलिंग फैन ना, सीलिंग फैन के ऊपर तुम्हारा शार्पनर रखना. एक शार्पनर होगा ना, शार्पनर प्लास्टिक का, उसको ब्लेड के ऊपर रखो और वो फैन को 1 के ऊपर घुमाना. शार्पनर गिरेगा नहीं, because the blades are moving very slowly. Blades are moving very slowly. जैसे तुमने ब्लेड का स्पीड बढ़ाया, what's going to happen? The friction which is holding the sharpener will be reduced. Are you getting it? That means the sharpener is now in a non-inertial frame of reference. Will get a centrifugal force. It will fly off. Agreed? और कहाँ पे उसका इफेक्ट और सीवियरिटी दिखेगा? Try to keep 2 sharpeners on the blades of the ceiling fan. Students, एक शार्पनर तुम एक्सिस के नजदीक रखो और दूसरा शार्पनर तुम टेपरिंग पे रखो और फिर पंखा एक पे रखो. तुम्हें फिर भी फील होगा कि जो एंड पे था उसको फोर्स तुरंत लगेगा. Are you getting it?
Yes.
So this is what we are trying to say, that when the Earth is rotating about its own axis, students, okay, the angular velocity of the Earth is known to you, students. You should know what exactly the radius of the Earth is. Because the mass of the Earth is, it's actually 5.94 we consider, but we take it nearly equal to 6 into 10 raised to 24 kilogram. That's the mass of the Earth, students. If somebody asks you what is the radius of the Earth, since radius of the Earth is 6,400 kilometer. Imagine what is the radius of the Earth? 6,400 kilometers, students. That's a radius. Suppose if I multiply 6,400, I'm getting it into 6 into 6. So what will be the value, students? 6 4s are 24. 6 6 are 36, 37, 38. Around 38,400 students.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 38,400. Now, if you have your car, at your home, and if your car is around 6 years, 7 years down the line, 7-8 साल पुरानी अगर कार है तुम्हारे घर के अंदर, या it depends, 4 साल भी पुरानी हो, तो students अभी next time when your dad switches on the ignition, तो वहाँ पे number of kilometers देखना. अगर if the number of kilometers we see it around 38,000, यानी सोचा your car has actually moved the circumference of the earth. What is circumference of the earth? 2 pi r. Are you getting it? 2 pi r. Are you getting, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
तो पता चलेगा कितनी तुम्हारी कार घूमे हुई है. It can move around the circumference of the earth. So it is see one thing. These all things are observations. If you want to be somewhere better in your physics part of it, there's a lot you need to observe things around you. Okay. One thing you can do like that. If in case you have one path, students, at times you should do it in this manner. If you have one path to travel and you travel always on that path from your home towards the center, suppose IITian hub, and one fine day if somebody tells you to walk down with closed eyes, you will be able to walk. Yes, you should know where exactly the uh, speed breaker is, or where exactly pit is, or where exactly unevenness of the surface. So these things are very much to be observed. So do keep in mind, students, angular velocity of the earth, radius of the earth, mass of the earth. Now, if I take a artificial satellite, every artificial satellite is revolving around the earth, students, and that particular satellite, which is revolving around the earth, it performs what kind of motion? It performs uniform circular motion, students. Again, it has a tangential velocity v. Agreed. Now, what is the distance of this particular satellite from the center of the earth? And this is the orbital radius, students. ये जो radius है, ये orbital radius है. This is called as geostationary orbit, या parking orbit. See the word I'm using, geostationary or parking orbit. What is this? It's a radius of the earth plus the height above the earth's surface. Students, ये h है और ये radius of the earth. To what height above the earth's surface these satellites are launched? Students, around 35,940 kilometers. यानी सोचो अगर तुम्हारा r की वैल्यू 6,400 है, उसके साथ में अगर मैंने h को 39,540 के अराउंड ले लिया, यानी नियरली अराउंड 40. So what exactly my answer will be? My answer will be around 46,000 students. 46,000. Yes, around 46,000. I can take it. This is the geostationary height, students. This is not an exact value, students. This is nearly about. Yani all satellites are launched over here. Yani socho, students, हर एक nation अपना satellite launch कर रहा है. कुछ समझ में आ रहा है, students? US, Japan, China, India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Iraq, Israel, everyone. यानी सोचो कितनी satellites है इस orbit में. Students, कितनी satellites है orbit में? पार्किंग ऑर्बिट्स. अभी पार्किंग की जगह नहीं बचेगी थोड़े टाइम के बाद में. वहां पे जगह भी नहीं बचेगी. Are you getting it? And everyone is in a particular. And India is making a good business after Modi becoming the prime minister. Okay, India has earned a lot of money into this because it's NASA which is launching satellites. We consider now India has made a business out of it, of launching satellites. हमारा तो record भी 100 satellites at one time. At one go, 100 satellites, छोटी satellites have been launched. And we are all launching it from south of India. Because south of India, if we say India is in the Tropic of Cancer, south of India will be closer to the equator. We consider in that case. So in that case, तो ये जितने भी सैटेलाइट्स वो सारे लॉन्च हो रहे इन द इक्वेटोरियल प्लेन, यानी एक टाइम के बाद में जगह नहीं होने वाली है. Yes, there are different orbits also. Satellites are launched at different orbits. Satellites can be launched at a certain altitude also. There are certain satellites which have been launched in poles. These are called as polar satellites. अगर suppose किसी ने पूछा how many satellites can cover up the entire globe? Friends, how many satellites can cover up the entire globe? Then a simple student will say, sir, simple. अगर मैं ये center of the earth लेता हूँ, I getting it? और मैं एक triangular object लेता हूँ, तो center of earth को मैं centroid पकड़ता हूँ, तो एक satellite यहाँ पे, एक satellite यहाँ पे, एक satellite यहाँ पे. So can I say if I go for 3 satellites considering at the 3 corners of an equilateral triangle, can cover up the entire globe? क्योंकि अगर ये मेरा अर्थ है, स्टूडेंट ध्यान से देखो, ये मेरा अर्थ है, तो ये पार्ट will be covered up by the satellite. This part of the is also covered by the satellites. Even this part is also covered by the satellites. So how many satellites can cover up the entire globe? 3 satellites can cover up the entire globe. यानी suppose अगर इंडिया ने अपनी 3 satellites भेज दी इस orbit के अंदर, and Earth is considered as a centroid, it can cover up. And there is one satellite all the time facing towards the Earth. Suppose if I say this is India, the pen cap, if you see the pen cap, ये pen cap is India, तो यहाँ पे satellite है. तो जैसे जैसे इंडिया रोटेट कर रहा है, रिवॉल्व कर रहा है, तो सैटेलाइट भी उसके सामने ही रहेगा हमेशा. I get it. So if somebody asks you what is the angular velocity of the satellite, what do you say? The angular velocity of the satellite is also what? Equal to the angular velocity of the Earth. Because the satellite is performing what kind of motion? Uniform circular motion. Is this clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now I want to derive the formula for orbital or critical velocity. Can anybody derive it? I want to derive the formula for orbital velocity or critical velocity for a satellite performing uniform circular motion. कैसे derive करोगे? So instantly you'll say, does a satellite perform uniform circular motion? Yes. Students, try to relate your equations exactly what we did it previously. On a circular unbanked road, was a car was performing uniform circular motion? Yes. For the car to perform uniform circular motion, which force you need? Force centripetal, real force. Likewise, for the satellite to perform uniform circular motion, which force you need? Centripetal. For the car to perform uniform circular motion, that centripetal force was provided by the force of friction. यहाँ पे कौन provide कर? यहाँ पे कौन provide करता है? So instantly we'll say, sir, it will be the gravitational force. Students, the gravitational force of the Earth provides the necessary centripetal force to perform, for the satellite to perform uniform circular motion. Students, I should not tell you all these things. ये तो तुम्हें आना चाहिए था. मुझे बोलने की भी जरूरत नहीं होनी चाहिए. But still, there are some students who are just sitting mum. Hope that you are understanding circular motion, students. This is almost equivalent to what we learned it earlier. A car moving on a circular unbanked road, a cyclist moving on a circular unbanked road, tilting we consider a conical pendulum is said to revolve, the bob is said to revolve in a horizontal plane. Or if I say a car is moving on a circular banked road, considering friction, not considering friction, ये सारे derivation में हमने क्या लिया था? हमने real force लिया कि नहीं लिया है? जो हमेशा body से center की तरफ जा रहा था. And real forces are those forces which has origin and source. तो यहाँ पे भी जब भी मैंने पूछा कि यहाँ पे ये सैटेलाइट को यूनिफॉर्म सर्कुलर मोशन कौन कर रहा था, तुरंत तुम्हें बोलना चाहिए सर सेंट्रिपिटल फोर्स. वो सेंट्रिपिटल फोर्स कौन को दे रहा है? अर्थ दे रहा है. क्या रॉकेट साइंस था? नहीं, फिर भी नहीं सोच रहा है. आई एम मीटिंग यू ऑल आफ्टर अ वीक. थोड़ी याद रखना है, थोड़ी कुछ बताना है. What exactly is the definition of a teacher? What is the definition of a teacher? To go on teaching things again and again. What is the definition of a student? To forget every time. Whatever is been taught, to forget it. That's the definition of a teacher. Sorry, of a student. No need to recollect or remember it. तो यहाँ पे कौन सा फोर्स चाहिए तुम्हें? सर यहाँ पे हमें चाहिए फोर्स सेंट्रिपेटल एंड दैट इज ग्रेविटेशनल. Exactly same if I change it. अगर मैंने sun रख दिया, students SUN, what are the planets? The planets are revolving around them. Now if you see the satellites, all the satellites are revolving in what way? In geostationary orbit. But how do they move? कभी देखा है? How do the satellites move? सारे एंटी क्लॉकवाइज में होंगे. तुरंत तुम्हारा दिमाग चलना चाहिए, अरे सर ने एंटी क्लॉकवाइज बताया, उसका मतलब राइट हैंड स्क्रू रूल, thumb upwards, z axis, all angular terms will be on a positive z axis. Friends, itna you should start thinking. You can't just restrict yourself कि जो बताता है बस उसी के ऊपर मुझे सोचना है. उसके अलावा भी सोचते रहो. और चीजें सिखा चुका हूँ, ऐसे नहीं कि नहीं सिखा है. And then when a question comes slightly different from what has been asked, you are literally blocked. Students, यहाँ पे जो gravitational force है, the force of gravitation, everybody should know it. Students, you'll have learned it in units and measurements. You'll have learned it in your class 10th also. Gravitational constant G, capital M mass of the Earth, small m mass of the satellite. Upon this is r plus h, that is small r square. What is small r? I'm taking it as r plus h. Okay, so Gmm upon r square. What does small m stands for? Mass of the satellite. Capital M is the mass of the Earth, students. What is the force of centripetal? Force of centripetal is acting on the satellite, students. So what's the formula for force of centripetal? We consider mass of the satellite, square of velocity of the satellite, upon square of the distance, mv square by r. Force centripetal has three formulas: mv square by r, mr omega square, mv omega. Now this is your orbital velocity. So I'm writing v0. Do you have any cancellation? Okay, so now when you speak about in this case, what exactly we consider is, sorry, this is mv square by r. Agreed. So now if you have any cancellation, what is the cancellation? So this r will get cancelled, mass of the satellite will get cancelled. Therefore, students, what's the formula for orbital velocity? The formula for orbital velocity, or so-called as critical velocity, orbital or critical velocity will be equal to what? G capital M upon R. Is this clear, students?
Yes.
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 So now when somebody asks you what's the formula for orbital velocity or critical velocity for a satellite performing uniform circular motion, students, this answer is in second. ये तुम्हारा फॉर्मूला होगा. वही चीज अगर मैं कोई भी प्लैनेट को देखूंगा तो वही आंसर होगा. You can get your answer accordingly. क्या ये डेरिवेशन क्लियर हुआ, स्टूडेंट्स?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Now suppose if somebody asks you what about the weight of the person, students? So does the weight of the person remain same throughout the Earth's surface or does it changes? Students?
Changes with height.
Just with
Since the weight of the person, does it remain constant? No, it goes on changing. Since the weight of the person goes on changing throughout the Earth's surface, students, the weight of the person, listen carefully, sir, तुम gravitation में पढ़ने वाले हो, लेकिन मैं सिर्फ एक gesture तुम्हें दे रहा हूँ. The weight of the person at the center of the Earth will be 0. The weight of the person inside the Earth's core will decrease. The weight of the person throughout on the Earth's surface for practical purpose can be considered to remain the same, but the weight of the person at equator will be less. The weight of the person at poles will be more. If I go away from the Earth's surface, the weight of the person will go on decreasing. Finally, beyond the layers of atmosphere, at a certain altitude, we consider the feeling of weightlessness. अब पूछना मत क्यों, ये सारी चीजें तुम्हें ग्रेविटेशन में पढ़ोगे. लेकिन स्टूडेंट्स एक रिलेशन है जो तुम्हें ध्यान में रखना है. If in case if I say that an object is on the Earth's surface, this is north, this is south, this is west, and this is east. Suppose if I take any place on the Earth's surface, Means can I say this place is at a certain latitude? Lambda stands for latitude. Friends, what does lambda stands for? Latitude. It's an angle. Can anybody define latitude? You'll have done geography, longitudes and latitudes. What exactly latitude, students, is? Anybody?
Sir, latitude are horizontal distribution.
Okay, fine. और कोई अच्छी तरह से बता सकता है? See, latitudes are imaginary plane. Students, all those imaginary planes which are parallel to the equatorial plane. Equatorial plane कहाँ से कहाँ होगा सर? वेस्ट ईस्ट की तरफ होगा. तो जो भी planes parallel है to the equatorial plane are called at a certain latitude. तो ये तुम देखोगे तो ये एक certain latitude हो गया. Is this plane parallel to the equatorial plane? Yes. Agreed. Latitude is also considered the radius vector. The radius vector joining the place on the Earth's surface to the center of the Earth, forming an angle lambda with the equator is at a certain latitude. Now, suppose if I say, if you are standing at point P, friends, if you are standing at point P, that means what exactly? There are forces acting onto you. There is weight, there is normal reaction force, है ना? अगर मैं बोलूं कि जब भी अर्थ परफॉर्म करता है रोटेशनल मोशन, स्टूडेंट्स अर्थ परफॉर्म कर रहा है रोटेशनल मोशन, तो तुम कौन सा मोशन परफॉर्म कर रहे हो? तुम परफॉर्म कर रहे हो यूसीएम. आया ना? A simple example, तुम एक स्पिनिंग टॉप लो स्टूडेंट्स. हैव यू सीन अ स्पिनिंग टॉप? हिंदी में बोलते
Yes,
हैं
sir.
भौरा. इफ यू सी अ स्पिनिंग टॉप स्टूडेंट्स, अगर तुमने कोई स्पिनिंग टॉप लिया और उस स्पिनिंग टॉप को तुमने रोटेट किया अबाउट इट्स गिवन एक्सिस, क्योंकि ये इसका एक्सिस है, ये टिप है, तो यहाँ पे तुम एक छोटी सी बिंदी लगा दो. मामा जो फॉरहेड पे बिंदी लगाते हैं ना, वो बिंदी यहाँ पे लगा दो और फिर वो भवरे को देखो. Now, when this particular spinning top is performing rotational motion, don't you think so? This bindi is performing uniform circular motion.
Yes, sir.
Exactly the same way. तो ये वाला प्लेस क्या है? परफॉर्म यूसीएम कर रहा है. It performs uniform circular motion in that case. Are you getting it? तो उसको एक centrifugal force लगेगा. At the same time, ये क्या है? Weight at a certain latitude. So mg lambda हो जाएगा, है ना? Actual weight is mg, but mg lambda. Are you getting it? Where is the normal reaction force I can consider? The normal reaction force is acting in this direction. I can consider this is lambda, so this is alternate angle, this is also lambda. Resolving this force of centrifugal into its components. Students, अगर किसी ने पूछा what is the weight of the person at a certain latitude, then mg lambda is equal to g minus r omega square cos square lambda.
So could you please make the camera shift towards right side?
Sorry, I can't do that. Okay. तुम पियो एक सेकंड भी नहीं रुक सकते हो. एक सेकंड नहीं रुक सकते हो तुम. तुम्हारा नेचर वैसे ही है. 1 second you doesn't. I getting it? अगर मैं चाहता तो मैं पहले भी नहीं कर सकता था. 1 second you don't hold. Now is it clear for you?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
एकदम एक सेकंड नहीं. एक सेकंड नहीं. आंसर देने में तो कितना टाइम लगा होगा, लेकिन ये चीजों पे एक सेकंड नहीं रुकते हो. सारे टीचर्स must be telling you that only, है ना? Have you? अरे पियो हाँ या ना तो बोलो. क्या फॉर्मूला लिखा बताओ जल्दी.
mg lambda is equals to mg minus mr omega square cos square lambda.
यस. और ये एक शॉर्ट डेरिवेशन है जो तुम ग्रेविटेशन में भी पढ़ोगे. आई गेटिंग इट? एंड स्टूडेंट्स, ये क्या मालूम है? वेट एट अ, तभी जाके वेट चेंज होता है स्टूडेंट्स. अगर किसी ने पूछा व्हाट इज योर वेट एट अ सर्टेन लैटिट्यूड, इज डिफरेंट. mg lambda is equal to mg, this is your actual weight, minus what? Component of the force of centrifugal. स्टूडेंट्स, ये कौन सा फोर्स है मालूम है? ये सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स है. ये लैम्बडा है. उसका एक कंपोनेंट इस तरफ जा रहा है, एक कंपोनेंट इस तरफ जा रहा है. ये कॉस वाला है, ये वाला कंपोनेंट मैंने पकड़ा है. ये देखो, ये नीचे की तरफ जा रहा है और ये बाहर की तरफ जा रहा है. एक ही बॉडी के ऊपर अगर दो फोर्सेस लगते हैं तो ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज अ अकाउंट ऑफ सर्टेन डिफरेंस. So mg minus mr omega square will be the weight acting on the body. and that is weight at a certain latitude. Agar suppose मैं सब में m cancel कर दूं, so now what's my formula? What's my formula? Gravitational acceleration at a certain latitude, g minus r omega square cos square lambda. So this is the formula for gravitational acceleration at a certain latitude. Now suppose if I ask you, can you give me the formula for g at equator? Anybody? Can you give me the formula for g at equator, students? क्या करोगे? Put lambda as 0. Equator का मतलब, when this point, suppose if I say this is the place, if I take this place at equator, if I take this place at equator, what does lambda becomes?
0.
Yes, sir.
What is cos of 0?
1.
Put it back over here. What's my answer? G at equator is equal to G minus R minus. G for practical purposes 9.8. R क्या है? Omega क्या है? Can you find out G at equator? 9.8 minus all the values are known to you. समझ में आ रहा है अभी प्रॉब्लम्स कैसे बनने वाला है तुम्हारे लिए?
Yes, sir.
What null vector?
सर 0 इक्वेटर पे होगा तो 0 होगा ना, उसका मतलब कोई पोजीशन भी वो नहीं रहेगा.
नहीं इक्वेटर पे कहाँ पे 0? लैम्बडा इज 0 माय डियर.
अच्छा लैम्बडा, मुझे लगा एग्जैक्ट इक्वेटर पे.
नहीं लैम्बडा इज 0 माय डियर. एंगल बिकम 0 ना. अगर ये प्लेस को मैं यहाँ पे लूंगा तो लैम्बडा 0 जाएगा. अगर ये प्लेस को मैं पोल्स पे लेता हूँ तो हाउ मच इज लैम्बडा बिकमिंग? हाउ मच लैम्बडा बिकम्स?
क्या सर?
अगर यही ऑब्जेक्ट को मैंने पोल्स पे ले लिया तो हाउ मच लैम्बडा बिकम्स? व्हाट इज एंगल लैम्बडा? लैटिट्यूड बिकम्स हाउ मच?
90 डिग्री.
90 डिग्री. व्हाट इज cos of 90?
1.
0.
अरे हाँ समझ.
Students, keep in mind, cos of 0 is 1, cos of 90 is 0. तो ये पूरा फैक्टर 0 जाएगा. So can I
Yes,
say
sir.
G at poles will be equal to G? G at poles is. That means if somebody asks you where is the gravitational acceleration more, so your answer will be gravitational acceleration is more at poles, less at equator. And this is what you'll have learned it in the lower standard, students. You all must have learned it. The gravitational acceleration at poles is 9.81 or 9.83, and at equator is 9.78. ये बहुत सारे students ने lower standards में पढ़ा होगा. And students from NCERT or ICSE, everybody has learned it under topic gravitation. There is a topic called gravitation. SSC students, CBSE students, 110% they have. ICSE लोगों ने learn किया है under topic we consider is for force, and a part of it they have learned it in class 9th also. Is this clear to all of you students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can I erase it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure. So these mathematical relations, please to take care when you're solving problems based on to your circular motion type of okay, students. Now, students, if in case if I happen to give you questions now, listen carefully, students. Suppose if I say a particle is describing circular motion in a conical funnel. Students, think as if there's a cone-shaped funnel, okay? And there is an insect. There is the angle which the conical funnel forms with the vertical is theta, okay? And students, there is an insect over here which is moving along the circumference of the funnel. So consider an insect describing a horizontal circle, okay, on the smooth inner surface of a conical funnel. If the height of the plane of the circle above the vertex is height of plane of circle above vertex, if it is 9.8 centimeter, students, my question to you is find the speed of the particle or the speed of the insect. Hope the question is clear to all of you. There is an insect over here, students, who's trying to revolve in a horizontal plane in a conical funnel. Okay. The height of the plane of the circular path of the insect above the vertex is 9.8 centimeter. I want to find out the velocity of the particle or the velocity of the insect. Is the question clear, students? Students, क्या question clear हुआ?
हाँ सर.
Try to get. Come on, all of you are Ruti, Veer, Daksh. Are you getting Daksh?
Yes, sir.
स्वयं बहुत टाइम के बाद में तो आ रहा है स्वयं आफ्टर लॉन्ग टाइम. सोहम, प्रथम, ओज, Ari, Bansar, Anaita, you're not responding at all. Anaita, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, fine. Your sound and Piyush sound is exactly same. Yes, anybody? The particle or the insect is said to move in a circular plane, smooth horizontal surface, students, of a cone. The height of plane of circle above the vertex is 9.8 centimeter. What is the speed of the insect or speed of the particle? Anybody? Please, students, shall I give you the answer for this? Students?
हाँ सर.
Now, please, students, when somebody is asking you this height, उसका मतलब क्या है मालूम है? देखो कि सोचो कि ये पार्टिकल या इंसेक्ट है और ये सर्कुलर मोशन परफॉर्म कर रहा है स्टूडेंट्स, कोनिकल फनल के अंदर. एक कोन शेप स्ट्रक्चर है स्टूडेंट्स, एक कोन शेप बॉल है और उसके अंदर ऑब्जेक्ट ऐसे मूव कर रहा है कंसिस्टेंटली. आई गेटिंग इट? और ये हुआ उसका सर्कुलर पाथ. हाइट ऑफ ये है प्लेन ऑफ रेवोल्यूशन. व्हाट इज द हाइट? हाइट कितना दिया है? ये जो परपेंडिकुलर हाइट होगा एंड दिस हाइट इज गिवन टू यू. हाउ मच इज दिस हाइट इज गिवन टू यू? इज 9.8 सेंटीमीटर. ये तुम्हारा हाइट हो गया. ये क्या हुआ? रेडियस ऑफ द सर्कुलर पाथ. व्हाट काइंड ऑफ मोशन द पार्टिकल इज परफॉर्मिंग? तो बोलेगा सर यूनिफॉर्म सर्कुलर मोशन भी कंसीडर. मुझे क्या चाहिए? मुझे टेंजेंशियल वेलोसिटी का फॉर्मूला चाहिए बस. Every time the direction of velocity is what? Perpendicular to the radius. B dot r is equal to 0. तो इसी को समझने के लिए हम क्या करेंगे सर, ऐसा करते हैं ना, इसका थोड़ा सा बड़ा डायग्राम बना देते हैं। ये तुम्हारा इंसेट हुआ, ये तुम्हारा परपेंडिकुलर हाइट है स्टूडेंट्स, और ये हुआ तुम्हारा प्लेन ऑफ रेवोल्यूशन। Agreed, this is the plane of revolution. ये सेंटर हुआ, so can I say this I'll consider as the radius, the insect is of somewhere over here, ये radius हुआ, ये height हुआ, ये theta हुआ students. Now can I try to go for forces acting on the particle? Yes. Where is the weight of the particle is acting? So the weight of the particle we always show it vertically downwards, mg. Where is the normal reaction force acting? Sir, it's perpendicular to the surface. Is the body moving in a horizontal plane? Yes. ठीक है, तो मैं किसको रिजॉल्व करूं? शुड आई रिजॉल्व m या शुड आई रिजॉल्व n? तो मैंने कहा सर रिजॉल्व किसको रिजॉल्व
N.
करूं? n।
N.
नॉर्मल उसको रिजॉल्व करूंगा मैं। अगर तुम देखोगे स्टूडेंट्स, ये थीटा है, ये 90 है, तो कहने से ये क्या हो जाएगा? 90 माइनस थीटा। एग्रीड, ये 90 माइनस थीटा, ये पूरा 90 है स्टूडेंट्स, है ना, ये पूरा 90 है। एग्रीड,
यस सर।
यस सर।
ये हो जाएगा तुम्हारा थीटा, ये एंगल थीटा हो जाएगा, आया ना?
हाँ सर।
यस सर।
अगर ये थीटा हुआ तो कहना रिजॉल्व दिस n into 2 components। यस। एक क्या होगा सर? एक होगा हॉरिजॉन्टल, जिसको मैं बोलूंगा n cos थीटा, और दूसरा हो जाएगा n sin थीटा। ये है n cos थीटा, क्योंकि ये आपका थीटा हो जाएगा। ये रेडियस वेक्टर को मैं यहाँ पे दिखा देता हूँ, और ये हो जाएगा n sin थीटा। अभी n cos थीटा, n sin थीटा किसको बैलेंस कर रहा है? सर n sin थीटा बैलेंस कर रहा है mg को, है ना। n cos थीटा किसको बैलेंस कर रहा है? सर ये तो सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स होगा, आपने v पूछा है, आपको v चाहिए, तो सर हम mv स्क्वायर बाय r ले लेते हैं। एग्री स्टूडेंट्स?
Yes, sir.
यस सर।
Yes,
आ
sir.
गया, ये रेशियो आ जाएगा, n कैंसिल हो जाएगा, बचा क्या? tan थीटा, यानी से मास विल गेट कैंसिल।
Yes, sir.
इज दैट क्लियर? सो दैट विल बी इक्वल टू व्हाट? r g अपॉन v स्क्वायर। व्हाट इज v स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू स्टूडेंट्स?
3 by 10 theta.
So now can I say v square is equal to rg upon tan theta students? And v is equal to what? Under root rg upon tan theta. What is tan theta? What is tan theta? R by h, है ना, opposite upon adjacent.
हाँ सर।
So can I say r by h? I can write down over here. R will get cancel. Can I say v is equal to under root g into h? आ गया तुम्हारा आंसर? आया कि नहीं? g की वैल्यू मालूम है कि नहीं मालूम? How much is g? How much is the height?
9.8.
सेंटीमीटर को मीटर पर कन्वर्ट करो, आ गया तुम्हारा वेलोसिटी। एक 9.8 बार जाएगा, एक 10⁻⁻1 बार जाएगा, 0.98 इज आंसर। क्या ये क्लियर हुआ स्टूडेंट्स?
Yes, sir.
यानी पूरे क्वेश्चन में सिर्फ मैंने एक वैल्यू दी थी स्टूडेंट्स, हाइट ऑफ प्लेन ऑफ रेवोल्यूशन, और उससे तुमने वेलोसिटी निकाला। स्टूडेंट्स when you say कि sir we have to do problems, you started off with the lectures to say that we have to do problems, but students, are you mentally prepared? Are you mentally prepared how to cope up with problems? ये क्वेश्चन wasn't on to satellites. ये क्वेश्चन wasn't on to wait at a certain latitude. ये तो बहुत पहले मैंने कंसेप्ट सारे सिखा चुका हूँ मैं, रेजोल्यूशन ऑफ वेक्टर सारे सिखा चुका हूँ। यानी ये एक फ्रेश प्रॉब्लम बेस्ड ऑन टू सर्कुलर मोशन के ऊपर मैंने वैसे ही डाल दिया। When you say that you need to start with problems, so first of all, are you 200% sure? Is each and every mathematical relation which is told by B is on tip of your tongue? Do you remember? Do you recollect what exactly it is? Are you able to reflect it back when asked? See, over here, students, you find out physics to be tough. यही तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम सबका यही यहाँ पे ही आ रहा है। तुम सीधा बोलोगे कि नहीं, वी अंडरस्टैंड थिंग्स, हमें हमें सिखाता है तो समझ में आता है। हमें फलाना सिखाता है, ढिकना सिखाता है तो समझ में आता है, लेकिन जब प्रॉब्लम्स आता है तो हम ब्लॉक हो जाते हैं। पीयू का सबसे बड़ा कंप्लेन वही है, लेकिन वो ये नहीं समझ रही कि मैंने बोल दिया प्रॉब्लम्स करना, लेकिन एक भी चीज ध्यान से टिप ऑफ टंग में था नहीं। फिर कहाँ से प्रॉब्लम्स आने वाले हैं? None of you all could answer for this. Maybe a few students might be knowing it. कि सर शायद हमें रिजॉल्व करना पड़ेगा, तो बोलना चाहिए कि सर वैसे ये हाउ टू इनिशिएट, हाउ टू स्टार्ट विथ इट. So students, when you start solving problems, please make a habit. You should know each and every mathematical formulas thoroughly done. Students, now please go ahead with your exercise given in your book. Students, on page number, have a look on page number, students. Module, students, just have a look into your module, page number 9191, everybody. Students, the module which we are using it is module 2. Okay, page number 91. Okay, and you have to solve level 1 questions, very short answers, fill in the blank. Okay, students, very short answers, fill in the blank, assertion and reason, match the column, ये सारे advanced के question हैं, क्योंकि ये सारे types JEE में नहीं पूछते, NEET में भी नहीं पूछते students. जैसे कि
सर पेज नंबर क्या था?
9191 of your
ओके
module
सर.
2. Module 2, page number 91, students. वहां पे मैच द कॉलम भी पूछा है, असर्शन एंड रीजन भी पूछा है. ये सारे क्वेश्चंस नीट में नहीं पूछते, जेई नहीं पूछते, दे आस्क यू इन एडवांस. एडवांस में पूछते हैं स्टूडेंट्स, जेई एडवांस में दे आस्क यू दीस क्वेश्चंस. Level 2 are the questions of multiple choice questions, students. Okay, so you have to solve level 1 all questions and level 2 all questions. So page number 91, page number 92, page number 93, page number 94, page number 95. Half तक पूरा तुम्हें complete करना है. There are certain questions of subjective which I'm going to throw across to you all, और वो सारे IIT के questions हैं, IIT advanced level के questions है. But if you solve a few questions, okay, 3 or 4 questions, you will be able to feel comfortable in solving further ahead such kind of questions. लेकिन to start off with, ये problem सबको आना जरूरी था, लेकिन नहीं आया, and that is a sign to worry. Okay, students, go ahead with the prism blanks. I wanted to solve first 4 answers, sorry, level 1, very short answers, students. Solve those 4, and one who finishes, please raise your hand and start answering. Okay, level 1. Objectives of students, page number 9191. Okay, students, I'll give you time. Level 1 students, ध्यान से सुनना. Level 1, all the 4 answers. Are you listening, students?
Yes, sir.
Level 1, all the short answers, students. Fill in the blank. Okay. Assertion and reason शायद तुम्हें अगर click होता है तो, नहीं तो if not that, then match the column. Okay, try to go for match the column. So I wanted to solve level 1 A, B, and D right now. Okay. I'm giving you simply 5 minutes. Okay. And 5 minutes, you should be able to crack it switch. Can I erase it, students? Students, can I erase it?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Are all answers clear to all of you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You said it. Third answer is correct. Is it correct?
Sir, I don't know that answer.
So how could you say that it's correct? And you told to erase it also.
Sir, I was about to ask you the third one.
Very good. You're too smart.
No,
You're much
sir.
more smarter than all the teachers of IIT and Hub. Enough you? Anybody can explain me, students? See, the first one, there is no tangential or only radial. Students, they are asking you that is for a body performing uniform circular motion, students. Okay, there is no tangential acceleration, students, for UCM. It will be only radial acceleration, students. Then the next one is for a body which is oscillating, students. It has tangential and
Sir,
acceleration. Yes.
for the first one, it won't be centripetal towards the center.
My dear, what is this radial I've given the word?
It's
देख
okay.
तेरे संसार की हालत
Okay,
क्या
okay.
भगवान उठा ले भगवान. There is no
Sir,
tangential, only radial. Radial and centripetal is one and the same. उठा ले भगवान.
okay, okay.
विमान. Second वाले के लिए at the end it will be always tangential for a body which is oscillating, students, but directed towards the midpoint will be always radial or centripetal acceleration. Third one, which force is trying to throw that particular body away, is centrifugal force. If in case if I speak about in uniform circular motion for one complete revolution, students, average velocity is the total displacement upon total time. For one complete revolution, students, the total displacement will be zero, therefore average velocity is zero. If average velocity is zero, then average acceleration also will be zero. This is very important for a student to keep in mind. Then I directly jump to fill in the blanks, students. I went for fill in the blanks, students. Yes, that's the next part. Well, the first answer will be UCM. Second, it is always directed towards the center of the circle we consider. Third one, please have a look at the third question. Skidding occurs while going in a circular. When exactly skidding occurs? When the force of friction decreases, students. Now, when a car is moving on a circular road, and when exactly skidding takes place? When the motion is accelerated. Uska matlab, at that time, there are two accelerations acting on the car. Centripetal acceleration and tangential acceleration. How many forces are acting? There are two forces. यानी अगर तुम्हारा फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स, स्टूडेंट्स, कौन सा फोर्स कार को होल्ड करके रखता है फॉर द कार टू परफॉर्म सर्कुलर मोशन? फोर्स ऑफ फ्रिक्शन. आई गेटिंग इट? और जैसे जैसे कार की स्पीड बढ़ती है, ध्यान से सुना, जैसे जैसे कार की स्पीड बढ़ती है, tangential force is going to act. Now, when does a car skid? When does a car skid or topple or fly off? When the force of friction is less than the resultant force. Which resultant force? Resultant of centripetal and tangential. स्टूडेंट्स, ये समझ में आ रहा है? ये फॉर्मूला कहां से लिया मैंने? हाँ स्टूडेंट्स, इज दिस क्लियर? लुक एट द थर्ड स्टेटमेंट.
No, sir.
हाँ पीयू, पता है ये कहां से आया? हाँ पीयू, पीयू, जल्दी
Yes,
बोलो.
sir. Sir,
कहां से
नहीं
आया?
समझा.
देखा, वही तो है ना, पढ़ाई करोगे नहीं तो वही होने वाला
तो कंपोनेंट का वो है.
है. यस. See one thing, why there is a difference between students also, student. Are you getting it? Students, तुम अपने आप ही difference create करते हो. कोई difference नहीं करता. I'm telling you very clearly, students. Teachers never discriminate among students. I'm telling you very clearly, and I want your parents to hear it very loud and clear. So students, please put on your mic very loud and clear into your home. Remove your headphones. Put the volume to its maximum. Open the doors of your bedroom. Are you getting it? Or take it closer where your parents are sitting. And I want them to hear it that teachers never discriminate students. It's the students who provoke teachers to speak about that. Izar says parents are sleeping. Izar, I'm so happy. Izar, I'm very, very happy that your parents are sleeping. That means they are really relaxed. That Izar is very well obedient kid. He knows what is he doing in his life. and your answers reveal that you are a person where parents have ample faith onto you. And he gave a correct answer. That's why his parents are actually sleeping. The parents are not at all to that extent tensed up with the studies. Where there is uncertainty in a kid, parents are literally awake. When there is uncertainty, parents are awake all the time. और उसने आंसर दिया भी स्टूडेंट्स, और ये सिखा चुका हूं मैं, उसको बोलने की जरूरत नहीं होनी चाहिए मुझे. तो यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट तुम्हारा क्या था, skating occurs when the maximum friction force of a flat rod on a car is less than, yani friction force should be less than the resultant of two forces. Okay, तो स्कीडिंग के लिए क्या होना चाहिए स्टूडेंट, स्कीडिंग के लिए तुम्हारा स्पीड बढ़ेगा. अगर स्पीड बढ़ा तो यूसीएम नहीं होगा. सी हाउ टू अंडरस्टैंड, यूसीएम नहीं होगा तो टैंजेंशियल एक्सेलरेशन होगा, टैंजेंशियल एक्सेलरेशन होगा तो टैंजेंशियल फोर्स होगा. यानी कार के ऊपर दो फोर्सेस एक्ट होंगे, एक तो सेंट्रीपिटल और टैंजेंशियल, उसका ही मैंने रिजल्टेंट निकाल दिया, तो फोर्स ऑफ फ्रिक्शन शुड बी लेस देन. Fourth one, if an object moves along a circular path has a speed changing, of course, it will have always tangential acceleration. Whenever change in speed takes place, tangential acceleration and tangential force. For uniform circular motion, what exactly complete circle measures? 2 pi radians. Okay. Can you even answer for the C1? Anybody has got answer for the C1 students? Assertion and reason. The first one. In the following question, students, a statement is put across to you all. First of all, assertion, students, is a statement where you need to say whether is the statement true or false by itself, true or false by itself. If the statement is true, then there is some reason given for that particular statement. So you have to answer, is that particular reason is valid for that particular statement? So now the statement we consider is, okay, options are given to you students. The first A, B, C, D, E are all the options given to you. Okay, and the two statements are given below. There are two questions asked. The first question has assertion saying a coin is placed on a turntable. Yani it's a rotating table. Now see, when a coin is placed, forget, I'm not reading the question further ahead. How to start thinking, a coin is placed on a turntable, instantly your thought process should go with the blades of a ceiling fan जहाँ पे मैंने sharpener रखा था, है ना? So does a coin performs uniform circular motion? Yes. Does the coin rest onto the turntable? Yes. What supports the coin to be onto the turntable? It's a friction which is supporting it, and that is the force of centripetal which is acting onto it. But will that particular coin can be made to fly off? Yes. Kabhi, when the turntable ka speed goes on increasing, angular speed goes on increasing, in that case, it will get a centrifugal force of friction will reduce, and then your force of friction will be less than what? Less than the net force, tangential and centripetal. जब भी हम लोग ने third वाला देखा था. Now read the question. So the first question says a coin is placed on a turntable, motor is started. तुमने motor शुरू कर दिया. The coin moves along with the moving table. Of course, it will start moving along with the moving table. Agreed. जैसे table rotate करेगा, the coin also starts, we consider it's moving along with the table. The reason for it, the rotating table is providing the necessary centripetal force to the coin. Is that a true statement? The rotating table is providing the necessary centripetal force. They will say, sir, rotating
Yes, sir.
table. Yes, absolutely correct. Rotating table is providing the force of friction. And that is your necessary centripetal force. Students, the rotating table is providing the necessary centripetal force. Yes, it is providing the necessary centripetal. What exactly the rotating table providing to the coin? Friction. And that is your centripetal force. Are you getting it? So A and R are both correct, and R is a correct explanation for A. So students, the answer for your assertion and reason, first question, is option A. that both A and R are true and R is a correct explanation of A. क्या ये question clear हुआ students? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
All the students.
Yes, sir.
Neha,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Anish, Arif, Daksh,
Yes,
Veer,
sir.
okay,
Yes, sir.
Pranay, Swayam,
Yes, sir.
okay, Kushali,
Yes, sir.
Kushali. Good morning, Kushali. Okay. Now let's move further for the next one. Students, second question क्या है? Okay. Second question, students, is banking on road. Banking on road reduces the wear and tear of tires of vehicles turn on a curved road. Is it true? First, let us go. Banking on
Yes,
road
sir.
wear and tear. How? Who's this? Kushali, explain. Kushali, you are answering now. Explain. Yes, Kushali, answer. You answered yes, sir, just now.
No, sir. I was not that.
Why are you speaking in between?
Sir,
Kushali,
you asked publicly, so I said.
अच्छा कि तुम लोग दोनों है ना अपना प्रोफाइल में पिक्चर से तो कुछ पता ही नहीं चलता कौन क्या है. Yes, you answer, so you answer. चलो बोलो.
Sir, assertion is true. I know.
How do you come to the assertion is true?
Sir, because you taught us. मतलब मुझे मालूम है वो सेंटेंस है वैसा क्योंकि बैंकिंग करने से फिर वो व्हीकल्स को उतना क्या बोलते हैं इसको फ्रिक्शन नहीं मतलब समथिंग इज देयर आई नो.
What something? So, ये फिजिक्स है, ये हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी या मराठी नहीं है. हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी हिंदी मराठी नहीं है. ऐसे नहीं करते, ये फिजिक्स है माय डियर.
हाँ सर.
तुम तो फिजिक्स को एकदम स्टेप मदरली ट्रीटमेंट दे रहे हो कि सर ऐसा कुछ तो भी है इसलिए है. Anyone else? Why is it so? The assertion is correct. I read, banking on road reduces wear and tear of tires of vehicles taking turn on curved roads. Anybody? So what should be your answer, students? On curved roads, if the direction of velocity goes on changing, the speed of the vehicle also goes on changing. If the speed goes on changing, then the car demands to go outwards. Are you getting it? Thereby, the force of friction plays a role to hold the tires. So there is wear and tear. Students, don't you remember? मैंने बोला था कि that is your car is going on a circular track. Students, ध्यान से सुनना, and your dad is moving with 100 kilometers per hour in a given track. Now, in that particular same track, suppose if in case if the speed is made to increase, don't you get a screechy sound of the tires? यानी हो क्या रहा है? उसी रोड के अंदर अगर बाय चांस टर्निंग्स पे अगर स्पीड बढ़ती है तो कहना से वो कार को उस सर्कुलर रोड के ऊपर मेंटेन करने के लिए फ्रिक्शन का रोल और बढ़ जाता है कार को होल्ड करने के लिए. तो अगर फ्रिक्शन का रोल और बढ़ जाता है तो कांटेक्ट बिटवीन द टायर्स एंड रोड आल्सो इंक्रीजेस. तो उसकी वजह से तुम्हारा वेयर एंड टेयर ऑफ टायर बढ़ सकता है अगर तुम स्पीड बढ़ाओगे तो. लेकिन वही वेयर एंड टेयर तुम कम कर सकते हो and gain speed. How? By giving banking. So जैसे तुमने बैंकिंग कर दिया तो क्या हुआ? जैसे तुमने बैंकिंग कर दिया तो what happens in that case? your outer tire gets raised as compared to that of the inner one, and thereby what happens? You're trying to minimize the wear and tear of the tires. क्या ये क्लियर हुआ सबको? Is it clear?
सर
Yes,
एक
sir.
फिर से बताओ ना.
Azan, naughty boy, naughty boy. ये
मतलब
पूरा एक
उसकी
सेकंड
वेलोसिटी पे वेरी
कार,
करता है
ये
ना
देखो ये
कितना
कार,
वेट है.
नहीं ये जो कार सर्कुलर ट्रैक में जा रही थी, तो उसके लिए तुम्हें क्या चाहिए था? तुम्हें फोर्स ऑफ फ्रिक्शन चाहिए था, और वो तुम्हारा फोर्स सेंट्रिपिटल था, है ना? और
जी
फ्रिक्शन कौन प्रोवाइड करता है? बिटवीन टायर्स एंड रोड। अभी
हाँ
यहाँ पे बैंकिंग नहीं दिया है, अभी रीड करो assertion. Banking on road reduces wear and tear of tires of vehicles taking turn on curved roads. अगर मैंने बैंक नहीं किया तो सर्कुलर रोड के ऊपर अगर गाड़ी मूव होती है, तो कहने से फ्रिक्शन इज इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर इट टू परफॉर्म सर्कुलर मोशन.
हाँ सर.
यानी देयर इज वेयर एंड टेयर ऑफ द टायर्स.
हाँ
यानी द इनर टायर एंड दिस इज द आउटर टायर. अगर तुम ध्यान से देखोगे तो मैंने ये बताया था, इफ यू सी द इनर टायर्स एंड द आउटर टायर्स, द इनर टायर के ऊपर रिएक्शन फोर्स इज लेस. आई गेटिंग इट?
हाँ हाँ
सर इनर टायर के ऊपर तुम्हारा रिएक्शन फोर्स इज मोर, और यहाँ पे बाहर के लिए तुम्हारा रिएक्शन फोर्स इज लेस. यहाँ पे तो सॉरी इनर वाले के लिए रिएक्शन फोर्स, यानी तुम्हारा टॉपलिंग बाहर की तरफ होता है. स्टूडेंट्स ध्यान से सुनना, ये नॉर्मल रिएक्शन ऑन द इनर टायर, ये नॉर्मल रिएक्शन ऑन द आउटर टायर. नॉर्मल रिएक्शन फोर्स ऑन द इनर टायर इज लेस देन नॉर्मल रिएक्शन फोर्स ऑन द आउटर. तो अगर थोड़ा सा भी स्पीड बढ़ता है स्टूडेंट्स, थोड़ा सा भी स्पीड बढ़ता है, तो द कार इज गोइंग टू टॉपल. एग्रीड? What is the formula for V? Over here the formula for V is equal to under root mu rg, है ना? तो कहने से car on a circular banked road, the speed depends on the friction. Speed depends on the friction. Speed of the car depends on the wear and tear of the tires and the road. But can mu be trusted? Can you trust mu? No, you can't trust mu. जरूरी है कि जब भी तुम सपोज अगर कहाँ पे सर्कुलर रोड के ऊपर जाते हो, तो क्या तुम जब भी व्हीकल को बुक करते हो, टूरिस्ट व्हीकल को बुक करते हो या कोई भी व्हीकल को बुक करते हो, क्या तुम उसके टायर चेक करने बैठते हो? कभी भी देखा है तुमने? टायर चेक करने बैठते हो जब भी तुम टूरिस्ट व्हीकल के अंदर जाते हो? तुम नहीं. यानी who knows if the tires are not fine or if the road is not fine, तो mu cannot be trusted. तो उसमें क्या होगा? कार टॉपल हो सकती है. तो टॉपलिंग को बचाने के लिए तुम्हें फ्रिक्शन को ओवरकम करना पड़ेगा, यानी वेयर एंड टेयर ऑफ टायर्स को तुम्हें बचाना है. तो वेयर एंड टेयर को कैसे बचाओगे? गो फॉर बैंकिंग. आउटर इज रेस्ड एज कंपेयर्ड टू इनर. नाउ सी योर कार. नाउ योर कार इज kept on a banked road. So if I keep it on a banked road, this is what the car is now. So now look at the reason. Component of the normal reaction of the ground. Can I say if it's banked, ये तुम्हारा नॉर्मल रिएक्शन फोर्स है, ये थीटा हो, तो कहने से n cos theta provides a necessary centripetal force for the banking. Component of the normal reaction of the ground provides the necessary centripetal force of the tires passing over the bank curved road, which is otherwise to be provided by the force of friction. अभी देखो, which force is required for the car to perform circular motion? n cos theta. पहले केस में क्या था? स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन. अभी क्या है? यानी ऑटोमेटिकली तुम्हारा फ्रिक्शन निकल गया. क्या ये क्लियर हुआ इजार?
सर, पर एन के कंपोनेंट को ऐसे थोड़ी करते हैं ना इसमें. मतलब आप सेंट्रीपिटल के डायरेक्शन में एन साइन थीटा होना चाहिए ना.
अरे क्या वापस भूल गया, तू भी पीयू की तरह रिएक्ट कर रहा है. वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड, वेरी वेरी गुड, दिस
अरे
इज
सर वो नहीं, आपने
नहीं, अभी देखिए कार को ऐसे
से
लेगा,
बोला
ये mg हो गया, ये mg हुआ, ये नॉर्मल रिएक्शन फोर्स हुआ।
हाँ
ग्रेट, तो तुम किसको रिजॉल्व करोगे? कार इज परफॉर्मिंग सर्कुलर मोशन ना, तो तुम किसको रिजॉल्व करोगे? ये 90 माइनस थीटा। आई गेटिंग इट?
यस
सॉरी, वेरी सॉरी, तूने क्या बोला? कंपोनेंट ऑफ नॉर्मल रिएक्शन, ऑफ कोर्स n sin थीटा। ये तुम फ्रिक्शन के हिसाब से करोगे, f cos
हाँ
थीटा फ्रिक्शन के हिसाब से आएगा। f cos थीटा फ्रिक्शन, ये फ्रिक्शन के हिसाब से थीटा यहाँ पे आएगा। एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट। और ये थीटा नॉर्मल रिएक्शन फोर्स, यानी नॉर्मल रिएक्शन फोर्स के लिए n sin थीटा आएगा। एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट इज दैट। और फ्रिक्शन के हिसाब से तेरा क्या आएगा? f cos थीटा। एग्रीड?
हाँ सर।
दैट्स व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू से ना इज़हार?
जी सर, क्योंकि यहाँ पे
एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट।
में एमजी को वो किया था।
यस यस यस, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट। यानी देखो स्टूडेंट्स, कंपोनेंट कौन सा तुम्हें लेना है? ये वाला लेना है। और यहाँ पे तुम देखोगे तो ये तुम्हारा फोर्स आ रहा है, पहले सिर्फ फ्रिक्शन था, अभी तुम्हारा n sin थीटा। दैट्स व्हाई स्टूडेंट्स, A is a correct statement. The reason for this particular assertion is also correct in that case. So the answer for the second one is also A. Is this clear to all of you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you give me the answer for the next one now? The D part of it. Master column, students. Yes, D1, anyone? Come on, the rest of the students. Veer, answer, Taksh, answer. Swayam. Izar has posted his answer. Izar, I want the entire answer. Students, अगर ये तुम्हें solve करना हो तो तुम कैसे करोगे? Everybody isn't careful. If you look at the master column, students, just try to look at the options. Just have a look at all the options, students. Look at the options of A, B, C, and D. Students, if you see the options of A, B, and C, and D, see capital A represents R in all. Yes. AR, 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 AR आ रहा है, सिर्फ D में AP आ रहा है. Am I getting it? ना अगर मुझे पहला वाला सॉल्व करना है सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स, तो सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स का फॉर्मूला क्या होगा? मास इनटू एक्सेलरेशन सेंट्रीपिटल। तो ये एक्सेलरेशन सेंट्रीपिटल का फॉर्मूला दिया हुआ स्टूडेंट्स तुम्हें। एक्सेलरेशन सेंट्रीपिटल का फॉर्मूला क्या दिया है स्टूडेंट्स? इट्स गिवन टू अस k स्क्वायर r t स्क्वायर। तो फोर्स सेंट्रीपिटल क्या होगा? मास इंटू एक्सेलरेशन सेंटीपिटल, तो तुम्हारा आंसर m k स्क्वायर r t स्क्वायर होगा। तो यानी तुम्हारा a किसको रिप्रेजेंट करेगा? तो मेरा
R.
a एग्जैक्टली r को ही रिप्रेजेंट करेगा। समझ में आ रहा है? यानी स्टूडेंट्स तुम्हारा आंसर होना चाहिए, आंसर ए में होना चाहिए, आंसर बी में होना चाहिए और आंसर सी में होना चाहिए। डी तो रूल आउट हो गया, हाँ या ना?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
एलिमिनेटिंग द ऑप्शन। अभी देखो ए में देखोगे तो ए आर बी विद पी, इवन बी इज आल्सो विद बी विद पी। फिर अगर तुम देखोगे तो ए में सी विद एस, सी में भी सी विद एस, बी में सी विद क्यू दिया है, सी विद क्यू दिया है, तो कौन सा सही होगा? पावर डिलीवर्ड बाय सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स। Since power delivered by centripetal force. Centripetal force. Students, what is ये कौन सा centripetal force? Huh? What is power? Students, do you remember the formula for power? So power is equal to force into velocity. It's a dot product. Do you remember, students, dot product, scalar product of two vectors? Huh, students? Did you learn vectors at the me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
तो वहां पे मैंने जब ये डॉट प्रोडक्ट का एग्जांपल्स दिया होगा तो मैंने दिया होगा इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स E डॉट ए, मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स B डॉट ए, सब कुछ बताया मैंने। वर्क F डॉट एस, पावर F डॉट बी, लेकिन एक्सप्लेनेशन वर्क के ऊपर किया था मैंने। ये सारे एग्जांपल्स डॉट प्रोडक्ट के, सारों में कंपोनेंट कॉस थीटा आएगा। स्टूडेंट्स अगर तुम्हें भूल गए हो तो वापस ये सारे एग्जांपल्स लिखो और ऊपर लिखो डॉट प्रोडक्ट, कंपोनेंट कॉस थीटा सब में आता है। ये इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स, मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स, वर्क। भाई पावर क्या? फोर्स इनटू स्पेस, फोर्स इनटू वेलोसिटी। कौन से पावर के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ? सेंट्रीपिटल। तो कहने से दिस इज सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स। तो अगर कोई पार्टिकल सर्कुलर मोशन परफॉर्म कर रहा है तो सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स अंदर की तरफ है, वेलोसिटी इस तरफ जा रहा है, दोनों के बीच में एंगल कितना है? 90 डिग्री। कंपोनेंट यहाँ पे क्या यूज हो रहा है? cos थीटा, तो cos ऑफ 90। व्हाट इज cos ऑफ 90 विल बी? तो व्हाट इज पावर? क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
क्लियर? तो पावर डिलीवर्ड बाय सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स शुड बी जीरो, यानी सी के साथ में एस आना चाहिए, ना कि क्यू। तो देखो अभी सी के साथ में एस कौन दिखाई दे रहा है? सर ए और सी दोनों दिखाई दे रहा है, यानी तुम्हारा ऑप्शन बी तो रूल आउट हो गया है ना? तुम्हारे
Yes,
पहले कितने आंसर थे? तुम्हारे 3 आंसर्स थे ना? उसमें से किसको
Yes,
रूल आउट
sir.
कर दोगे? बी को रूल आउट कर दिया, अभी बचा क्या? ए और सी में आंसर निकालना है। एग्रीड?
Sir, A answer.
क्या बात है पियो, तो एकदम सही हो गई यार। है पता ए कैसे है? पावर डिलीवर्ड बाय टैंजेंशियल फोर्स। बोल कैसे? यस, पावर डिलीवर्ड बाय टैंजेंशियल फोर्स। जल्दी। You are waiting for you. What are you doing?
Sir, I did elimination rule.
अरे तो
Sir, I got A का आंसर and I got D का आंसर. So D का Q था आंसर, तो फिर वो A में ही था, तो इसलिए ये होगा, बाकी का मुझे नहीं मालूम. Like I did like that, बाकी ऐसा.
of course सी बात नहीं, एलिमिनेशन के लिए जाओगे तो तुम्हारा डी तो एस हो ही नहीं सकता है, क्योंकि टैंजेंशियल फोर्स बोला है। स्टूडेंट्स क्या बोला है? टैंजेंशियल। तो टैंजेंशियल फोर्स अगर तुम लेते हो तो स्टूडेंट्स टैंजेंशियल फोर्स इस डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है तुम्हारा, है ना? तो यहाँ पे तुम्हारा पावर क्या होगा सर? पावर इज इक्वल टू फोर्स टेंजेंशियल इनटू वेलोसिटी। एग्रीड? और दोनों एक ही डायरेक्शन में है, तो स्टूडेंट्स तुम्हारा जीरो आना होगा ही नहीं, यानी डी कैन नॉट बी एस, नाउ डी इज गिवन बाय क्यू। एग्रीड? What is force tangential? Force tangential and velocity tangential. Since force tangential is equal to mass into acceleration tangential, and V is equal to R into omega. Acceleration tangential is R into alpha into R omega. So M into R square alpha into omega. M into R square. What is alpha? Omega by T. So omega square by T. Are you getting it? और ओमेगा को कैसे लिखोगे स्टूडेंट्स? 2 pi f square तुम ले सकते हो. Are you getting it? And distance upon time you can consider in terms of speed. You can get your answer in terms of time. अगर तुम देखोगे स्टूडेंट्स तो देखो तुम्हारा k square r and t square is given as acceleration centripetal. यानी किसी भी हाल में तुम्हें देखो, अगर तुम देखोगे ना, सॉल्व करोगे स्टूडेंट, व्हाट इज ओमेगा? Friends, omega is equal to 2 pi f. Everybody knows this. Is it omega square? तो कहने से ये स्क्वायर हो जाएगा. So am I getting f square? Yes. Which option shows me f square?
R.
Q, f
Q.
square. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
And that's what we consider. Is this clear to all of you all? Is that clear? Any students always start eliminating the options. पहले D को eliminate कर दिया, फिर B को eliminate कर दिया, फिर PU ने बोला कि सर हम C को eliminate कर देते, और वो बराबर था. I getting it? But still उसको precise लाने के लिए we can simply go for this formula. I getting it? Force tangential is equal to mass into acceleration tangential. V को I can write in terms of R into omega. Acceleration tangential is R into alpha. I can consider alpha R square into alpha. We can consider into omega. Alpha can be written in terms of omega by T. So omega square आ गया मेरा. And that is F square. I can get in terms of frequency. Are you getting, students? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. स्टूडेंट्स ये जो भी क्वेश्चन है ना स्टूडेंट्स, ये सारे एडवांस टाइप के हैं. एडवांस में ऐसे क्वेश्चंस पूछता है. ओके, सो such kind of questions are not expected in JEE, nor even in your so-called your NEET के अंदर students. Okay, and not even more than one option. Okay, now level 2 questions, students. Go on. Can anybody give me the answer for the first and the second one? First and second, anybody? See, there were around 27 students. I need 26 students. 3 students have left. Sorry, 4 students have left. Yes, students, can you give an answer for the level 2? I will be winding up somewhat early. We'll do level 2 one question, students. The reason is I have to reach at the RTO office by 10:30 in the morning for the license car renewal. I need to reach over there, and it's at Andheri. Okay, so let us do level 2 ka first question. Okay, it's still just 10 minutes left. So you can do level 2 के लिए I need more explanation, students. Okay. मुझे ये बताओ, मुझे फर्स्ट का आंसर दे दो स्टूडेंट्स, और सिर्फ थर्ड का आंसर दे दो. चलो, वो बहुत इजी है, फर्स्ट और थर्ड. पेज नंबर 92 and 93, students. What exactly level 2 first one? Two cars having masses m1 and m2 move in a circle of radius r1 and r2 respectively. if they complete the circles in equal time, the ratio of their angular speed is. Questions? अरे time constant है तो what exactly are they moving circular motion? Yes. If
Sir,
I say
one option D.
yes, if time is constant, motion is periodic. So will you write an omega as d theta by dt or will you write an omega as 2 pi by t?
2
students,
pi by
by
t.
t.
दोनों का टाइम सेम है तो t1 t2 सेम है तो कहने से ओमेगा 1 will be equal to omega 2. Ratio 1:1.
1, yes.
Option will be D. कितना सोचेगा? Periodic आ गया है, time is constant. चलो, give me the answer for the third one. Select the correct alternative or alternatives. A particle is acted upon by a force of constant magnitude. Students, force of constant magnitude, okay? Which is always perpendicular to the velocity of the particle. Yani force centripetal and velocity is in this direction. And this is constant, students, always. The motion of the particle takes place in the plane. What kind of path the particle is going to have? Will the path be circular, students? Students? See, force centripetal and this are perpendicular.
Yes, sir.
तो तुम्हारा ऑप्शन कौन सा आएगा? डी तो आएगा कि नहीं आएगा?
Yes, sir.
All of y'all, it moves in a circular path. यानी देखो, तुम्हें ऑप्शंस एक या एक से ज्यादा हो सकते हैं. Look at the question. Select the correct alternative और ब्रैकेट में S लिखा है. उसका मतलब एक से ज्यादा हो सकते हैं आंसर्स. तो एक आंसर तो ये हो गया क्योंकि ये दोनों परपेंडिकुलर हो गया. दूसरा, any other answers? A particle is acted upon by a force of constant magnitude which is always perpendicular to the velocity of the particle. The motion of the particle takes place in a plane, in a horizontal plane.
Sir, plane में रहेगा तो velocity तो constant रहेगा और acceleration भी. तो
Yes sir, किसने बोला velocity constant?
Sir, kinetic energy होगी.
क्यों kinetic energy क्यों रहेगा भाई?
Sir, because circular motion में है.
तो
Sir, because the velocity of that particle will change at time to time.
Yes, students, ये velocity velocity cannot be constant. Students, magnitude of velocity is constant. Direction changes. The students, option A गलत होगा. उन्होंने speed is constant नहीं लिखा है. Velocity is constant. Velocity is not constant. Students, the direction of motion goes on changing. Direction of motion goes on changing. The students, velocity is not constant, but magnitude of velocity, speed remains constant. And what is kinetic energy? It's a scalar quantity. What's the formula for kinetic energy? Does the mass of the particle remains constant throughout its motion? Yes. Does the speed remains constant? Yes. Therefore, kinetic energy remains. And the motion is accelerated. So acceleration is also not constant. क्या समझ में आया स्टूडेंट? तो यहाँ पे थर्ड का आंसर क्या होना चाहिए? C and D. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next lecture will be continuing further, students. The next lecture will be completing with this exercise, and then we'll go with the next chapter, system of particles. Okay, students?
Yes, sir.
Chalo, bye. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.